Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of People Call Me Will. I'm super happy to be back. I turned 28. I just had a birthday. I'm feeling really good. I'm really excited for today's conversation. So please stay tuned for the rest of the episode. Okay, everyone. So welcome back. I'm excited to be here, and it definitely was. I definitely was gone a little bit longer than I wanted to be, but honestly, I think it was pretty necessary because I felt like within the month and a half or so that I was away, I kind of allowed peer pressure and social media really to get to me a lot. So I honestly was thinking of topics and writing a lot of information and a lot of content down, but it just was not screaming like what I wanted to talk about. It felt forced. It felt like I was just trying to, I guess, be within like be along with everyone else. I'll admit that. And I feel like I had a little bit of a wake up call towards the end of March. And I'm glad that happened because, yeah, I had a few episodes recorded and written out and everything, but it was just not me. It wouldn't have been genuine. It would have felt just super forced. So I took a bit of a break just to kind of recalibrate, whatever you want to call it, just mesh myself back together. I'm not all the way back together. I don't know when I'll post another episode, but just know that every time that I do come out with a new episode or more content, know it's me. It's not anything that I am feeling forced or pressured to put out. I just want everything to be as genuine as I can make it. We all change, of course, but yeah, that's my little spiel about where I was. And yeah, just to go back to the peer pressure topic, I it's been a lot. I don't know if peer pressure used to be like this 20 to 30 years ago or if this is what it felt like. And if so, then wow, we have really been struggling for some time, I feel like, because yeah, I was feeling a lot of pressure to just make a choice, to decide on what I wanted to do next, or am I going to choose right or left? It has been very overwhelming. And again, within that month and a half that I didn't put anything out and just kind of honestly just been to myself over the past, whatever, you guys already know, I've talked about that. Um, but to just feel like all this pressure to do something, like to just make a choice, it's really overwhelming. It's really annoying. And so, yeah, I think that peer pressure has definitely evolved in definition because the way that it makes me feel is, oh my gosh, it makes me feel crazy because I know that if I put away my phone or delete my social media apps and really cater to myself and you know, put in the work for myself, I flourish. Like, it's so interesting how it works. But as soon as I pull out my phone, I am involved in everyone else's business and everyone else's lives, slowly, forgetting about myself. And yeah, it's just not something that I just wanted to address that. I wanted to put that out there that we should, or I think that, we should really pay attention to ourselves a little bit more. Otherwise, again, we find ourselves wanting to do or wanting to have what everyone else has, which is not, I mean, obviously influence is, it is what it is. We are all inspired by someone in any shape or form. So it's okay. But when it gets to a point where you're starting to feel, well, I'm starting to feel like I have to now start making those types of decisions, or doing types of things that I know that if I stayed to, like, just stay a little bit level headed, and again, not being everywhere else, I would be a little bit, it would be, the content would come faster, everything would just make sense. And I was like on TikTok the other day, and I saw this TikTok of this girl where she was saying how 2007 Instagram just used to be so different, or yeah, I think 2007 to like 2014 or whatever, Instagram was just so different. You didn't have to, it didn't feel like a chore. I don't know, like you have to post a certain way, you have to put in a type of I'm sorry, I'm jumbling. Put all types of content, I guess, to be relevant. And I guess also with peer pressure, there's like this craving to be relevant and to hope to get this attention. And I don't think it comes from a bad place within ourselves. I just think that this is what the norm is. So yeah, Instagram used to be a lot funner. You could post funny pictures. It used to only be pictures at one point too. So like you could just be yourself a little bit more, because I can't tell you guys how many times I have deleted my, like, archived my photos and put certain ones up, because now it just feels like I have to have a type of a profile, when in fact, like, I am not just one thing. I'm a billion things. I like a billion things, but to juggle all of that on this profile that I've created is difficult. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to like make like one type of a profile. It's really difficult for me. So these are the pressures I think that I've been feeling, and this is some of the, I guess, bad influence that I've received. And so now I've just been working really hard to battle that and face that. And by doing that, I'm saying this, I'm putting this, I'm being honest, And so that's been my experience with peer pressure and influencing, or being influenced. And I want to know what has it been like for you guys? Have you ever felt peer pressure to do anything, or to make a certain choice, or live a certain lifestyle that you may know, like, that isn't really like you? There's this other part of you, possibly, I'm just asking, that may be a little bit different than what you're putting on. And that's also to go along with peer pressure, influence. There's also the power of perception, and how people view us, and how we view other people, and how much power we give to people and their perception, when it's completely untrue how somebody may look at you or what they may expect of you, but instead you allow that to fester in you, and then all of a sudden I'm believing it. I'm thinking that, and now I'm hindering myself because of what someone else may think about me. And I know, we all know that we are who we are. Going back to the very beginning of what I was saying, just making sure that we are checking in on ourselves, showing up for ourselves. And I'm a big anime person, and I recently watched Hunter x Hunter, and by the way, I highly recommend the anime. This is a bit of a spoiler. They have this thing called conditions, and in order for them to use their, like, to be more powerful, to have their nin, which is like their energy, in order to be able to execute or give off a lot of power, they have to make conditions with themselves. And there's this character called Kurapika, and he has a condition where he can only fight certain bad guys, which is the Phantom Troop. And if he kills anyone else or hurts anyone else, he will die. So I'm not saying that we should be that extreme of like that thing, but creating conditions for ourselves and making boundaries within ourselves, I think would be like a great start, in my opinion, to really battle a lot of this that's happening. I feel like in our society, in this generation at least, if we start holding ourselves, like our inner selves, accountable. And I don't know much about, a lot of that stuff. I read and I write about how I feel. So don't take everything, I don't want anyone to take anything that I'm saying with like, take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I think. So yeah, we have to listen to ourselves a little bit more. We have to put the devices, all of the outside things, we have to kind of close them out a little bit so we can really sit with ourselves. Because I don't know. I don't know. What do I know, right? This is just what I think. I just think that we have kind of lost a lot of our individuality these days, and I'm hoping that we kind of, sit with ourselves, because I have felt that way at least. I don't want to lose my individuality to what everyone else has going on. And I mean, this is easier said than done. There are so many powerful outliers, such as social media, where you work, where you go to school, however you get your information, the people that you surround yourself every day, that also creates who you are as well. Like, all of that matters too. But I think, and what's important is like going home and thinking about it and like reflecting and making sure that you, or myself, I'm going to speak for myself, like making sure that I received everything that I was supposed to receive in those moments and not taking anything else from it. Again, easier said than done. That's why I took that break once again. I was allowing peer pressure and influence to really run my life for a while. I recently archived almost all of my photos on my Instagram. I made it private. I just did so many things that I felt that I wouldn't normally do. But after kind of reflecting and just going through this period like of silence, I'm like ready to unprivate it, and I'm ready to put some things back in order. But it got to a point, where I had to kind of escape. I didn't want to be seen, which is so sad, because I think, again, humans are beautiful, just so flawed, and we are really magnifying our flaws right now, and it's just creating all of this self-consciousness that's not good. And again, these are all my thoughts. I want to know what everyone thinks about what I'm saying. I love just people are so interesting to me. That's literally it. How we receive each other, perceive each other, all of that is just so fascinating. And we are like not being really good to each other right now. A lot is going on in the world, and it's so sad to me. And to just see how the effects of the masses are really, just really powerful, very, very powerful people, group, energy. I wouldn't even say it's a people or a person at this point. I think that there is just a really bad energy in the air, and it is it's just infecting everything. It's just destroying a lot of like the important parts, like the beautiful parts of us. So yeah, sorry if I'm like, I just hope that everyone is getting my gist, because I really think about this stuff every single day, especially after COVID happened. The way that we show up for each other, the way that we treat each other is just it's sad. And I even think this is like a little conspiracy. It's like, what if this is an evolution that's happening. Like, what if we are experiencing a big change in ourselves, like how we are just moving and how we react to each other? We were so different. Everyone, we all talk about how it used to be, especially as some of us are getting older. If you're like headed towards your 30s, like I am, I'm 28. And yeah, I think about how it used to be now. And so maybe we're just experiencing like a huge shift in human interaction, and these definitions such as, again, pressure, influence, perception, I think it's all just changing. And yeah, there are people like me, I guess, who are just trying to hold on to the important parts of what used to be so we can move forward and hopefully, be back to, not be back, but be just in a different space than we are now. That's my whole thing. Okay, everyone, so that pretty much concludes what's just been on my mind and how I've been feeling this past month and a half. I'm working really hard to finally be able to set up video, so hopefully within like the coming weeks, we will be on video on YouTube. So please stay tuned for announcements on my Instagram. People Call Me Will. That is where you can find my podcast content as well as some more stuff that I plan on putting on that page. So please stay tuned for future announcements on that. And if you're listening, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for listening, because yeah, I this is what I like to talk about. And so my final questions to everyone is going to be, have you ever felt peer pressured recently, or just have felt really strong influence from this energy that I'm talking about? And if so, please let me know. I'm really curious to just see your guys' take on what I have to talk about. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.